right now on BeachBurnBob.
So now we're going to rewind it a little bit. We're going to go back to the beginning. And this is how I would book WWE Crown Jewel. Not what I think is going to happen. We're going to book it, and we're going to see if we can make it interesting. All right, you ready for this? I think this will be fun. Never tried this before. Always fantasy book in my head. Now I'm fantasy booking to you guys. Let me know in the comments if you think it's good or bad, or I'm off my rocker, or have a rocker. I don't know. But here we go. So, I would keep things the same for the pre-match. That's right. JD McDonough versus Sami Zayn. Fine with it. But I would book it a little different. I'd go back a little bit, and I would have everybody from Judgment Day beat down Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn loses, and Kevin Owens interferes and tries to save him, which then starts up the little rivalry that we haven't had in 2 years of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that will culminate at Survivor Series and will go perfect with the Raw versus SmackDown that is coming down the road. Which, also on a side note, what if WWE 2K24 is Raw versus SmackDown 24? We'll get to that a little bit later. But so I would keep Sami Zayn on the pre-show. I think that that's fine. But I would set up for Survivor Series Rumble time. Give us Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Give us that WrestleMania match because they're so good against each other. It's perfect. They've done it on the NXT stage, Ring of Honor stage. Never done it on the WrestleMania stage. I think that would be a fun watch. But that's how I'd book it. Secretly, though, I really enjoy Kevin and Sami as friends more than I do as enemies. What do you guys think about that? So the second match, we're going to book the five-way. The five-way women's match championship scramble chaos. Here's the thing. It's coming up to Rumble time. So for Rumble, that's pretty cool. So what I would do is, like I said, I would have Shayna Baszler win this because Rhea needs a legitimate competitor. And we forgot that Shayna Baszler retired Ronda Rousey. So how I would book this is that I would have Shayna destroy everybody. Knock out Nia, knock out Raquel, knock out Zoe Stark. And then for the next 5 minutes, while everyone's laying on the ground, it's just Rhea and Shayna going blow for blow until Shayna knocks out Rhea Ripley. Because it hasn't happened yet. We have not seen Rhea Ripley get knocked down, and that will set up for Rhea Ripley to chase back the title that Shayna stole for her. So that is where I would take this match. I would bring Shayna Baszler up to be the unstoppable force that she was. Remember a few years ago in Rahad that she won the entire Elimination Chamber by herself. And it's like they make us forget about that. But she eliminated everybody in the Elimination Chamber match. I would basically do that match again here. But just have Rhea have a little bit more fight than anybody else. And then go ahead and have Shayna win. And then for Survivor Series or at the Rumble, we can finally have that one-on-one match. And give it a gimmick. Give it a Hell in a Cell match. Or give it a, no holds barred match. Something like that. That's how I would book that match. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Next up, John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. I would shock the world here because John Cena has been on this ride. I would have this a good old-fashioned 5-minute squash match. That Solo is so over-eager here that he just gets destroyed by John Cena. Because it hadn't happened yet. Solo is a great competitor. He has stayed strong. He's only eaten a couple pins in the last year. So he is just so up on the bloodline stuff, going on with everything. He's the only one in the bloodline that's been loyal this entire time. But he's been loyal to himself to a fault. So as he says to everybody in the bloodline, I got this. I'll go and destroy John Cena We get Super Cena one more time here, and Super Cena destroys Solo in a 5-minute squash match. That's what I would have happen. A shock victory that we expect it to be a good match, but then the shock is that Cena just goes off and tees off on Solo and destroys him in 5 minutes. Because I don't think anyone would see it coming. That's how I would book that match. Let me know what you guys think about it. I think it would be very entertaining. Or maybe I've just lost my mind and I've watched too much wrestling lately. But it doesn't matter. I think getting Super Cena back would be more interesting than last run Cena that we've been getting the last couple weeks. So that's how I would book it. So next up, Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio. This is how I would book it. So I said in my prediction that I thought that Logan Paul should win this match. Well, how I would book it is I would book it that Logan Paul still wins this match, but not the way that you think. So we've been teasing LWO breaking up since they got together. So I think that this would be the perfect time for Santos Escobar to completely turn. Logan Paul goes through, we still have the same match, and we go through and they putting on a barn burner match, high spot after high spot. And then Ray gets in trouble. Ray's in trouble. Something bad happened. Logan's showboating. Santos Escobar comes down for the save, and instead of saving, turns on Rey Mysterio, costing him the match and the title, which then sets up Escobar and Rey Mysterio for the leadership of the LWO at Survivor Series. And this fractures the group, and then we find out who is, because the LWO is just getting bigger. We have Joaquin Wilde, and we have Escobar, now Carlito's in the mix, and apparently Bad Bunny's in it. There's so many people that's in this, and secretly Karrion Kross should be in this faction, and he should run it, but that's a tale for another time. But what I think is going to happen, or how I would book it, is that I would book Escobar turning here to set up Ray and Escobar something to do through Rumble season and Survivor Series season. And we have a Survivor Series match, an elimination match for who is going to be the leader of the LWO. I think that would tilt that whole storyline on its head and make it more interesting than make it then a afterthought that it has been for the, oh, it's cool to be in the LWO, everyone wants to be in it. Will make it actually matter, because back in WCW days, that t-shirt actually mattered to the people that wore it. Not necessarily to the booking then either, but to the people that wore it, they tried to make it a bigger thing than it was. And I feel like it's been a great nostalgia pop for the LWO to be back, but if all you got to do is be from Puerto Rico to be in it, that kind of waters it down. So make it more special than it currently is. So that's how I would book Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio.
Revolutionize your experience with HEXgaming premium custom controllers. Use code BEACH to save at checkout.
So next up, we're going to go with Io and Bianca. And here's some lazy booking, brother. Because I would just book that Backlash match again. I would book it the exact same. That Backlash match was a barn burner. Let's just do that again, but have Io win instead of Bianca. If you want to get some shenanigans involved, have Charlotte interfere. Or have Asuka interfere. Whoever Bianca's next feud is going to be. How I would book it is we haven't properly gotten Charlotte versus Bianca yet. I would book it that Charlotte comes down and interferes, costs Bianca the match, and then we get one-on-one Charlotte and Bianca. Io moves on to a returning superstar that may or may not be Kairi Sane. I think that will be where we go from there. That's how I would book that match. Otherwise, total lazy booking on my part, because the Backlash match was so good, I don't think you can top that. So let's just redo it and reverse the finish. Let me know what you guys think about that one. I think it'll be fun to watch in real life or in my booking head. Either way, I think it'll be great. Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes. This is how I would book it. I would book it where Damian Priest destroys Cody Rhodes completely. Again, another squash match on this card. We've already seen Cena destroy Solo Sikoa. So why don't we make Damian Priest the giant that he is and destroy Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar style? Because he's holding on to that Money in the Bank and it's fun to watch. But we need him to feel like a threat as we're getting closer to Rumble time and more titles every month. The next few pay-per-views, all the belts are going to be on the line. So we need to make Damian Priest feel more like a threat than he has so far. It's fun to watch, but he needs to feel like he can really cash in that belt and win. So what I think should happen is that he should go through and completely destroy Cody Rhodes and then tease the cash in later that night on Seth and not do it, but interfere in that match, costing Seth the belt to Drew McIntyre, to then turn around again and interfere during Roman and LA Knight's match to let Roman win the belt. Make Damian Priest feel like the threat he should be, and make the Money in the Bank feel like the golden ticket that it used to be. And I think that would be fun to watch, to see the rise of Damian Priest, because he's good in the ring, but I think that it would be so fun to see them build him into the monster that he could be. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think Cody should get destroyed. That's what I would book. I would book him getting annihilated by Priest and then him moving on and interfering in the other couple matches as the night goes on. So that's my thoughts on it. What are your guys' thoughts? So, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, world title. Here is how I would book it. Now, I would book this is that we go for a good old-fashioned Dusty Rhodes 20-minute Broadway. That we fight until we can't fight anymore. Drew won't, kicks out of everything. Seth Rollins kicks out of everything. We go to a 30-minute time limit draw because we haven't had that in years. Because they're fighting so hard for the belt, they just keep going shot for shot for shot. And we go to a no contest. Like I said previously, Damian Priest will come in and interfere, costing one of them the belt. But before he can do that, what will happen is the bell will sound and that 30-minute draw that we haven't had go off in WWE finally goes off, and both men fight till they can't fight anymore. Seth retains the belt because it's a 30-minute draw, but going out of it, it's obvious that Drew McIntyre won, which would then at Survivor Series set up a no disqualification, no holds barred, whatever they call it nowadays in WWE. Let them have that match at Survivor Series, and that's where I would have Drew actually win and beat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. And finally, Roman versus LA Knight. Yeah. So here's where we go. Another just classic bloodline match. I'd keep it pretty straight and simple to my prediction earlier. Is that we go on and we fight. And we have a lot of hope spots that LA is going to win. The only difference I would change with this is that, again, Damian Priest interferes for this time and cost LA Knight the match, letting Roman win, because Priest is letting Roman know that he's beatable and that he's not scared of the big dog. He's not scared of the tribal chief, that he wants him to have the belt. So when he cashes in that Money in the Bank, he can take it from him. So I would keep everything straight down the line. but do it that way. Let me know what you guys think about that. So that is how I would book WWE Crown Jewel. Did I do okay? Does it sound like an entertaining story, or does it sound like something like just complete garbage? Let me know. Thought of it, thought it'd be fun, do something different, a little outside the box, a little crazy. But that's how I would book it. And remember, make life your beach. And we'll see you on the next video.